Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noelle and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel. And today I have another lovely box, I am sure, from the world of Birdmoss. It's been sent to me for review. And once again, I think the last time I reviewed this box, I was wearing this fall dress and kind of felt like it matched. Had the same Birdmoss dark and magical vibes, but I do love this box. Even the design of it I think is wonderful. It is not a box for everyone, but it is definitely a box for those who consider themselves creative or storytellers or crafty, or maybe just for those who would like to stoke those elements of their lives a little bit more. The box is $45 per month. If you use the code Noel, N-O-E-L, that will save you $10 on your first box. This is actually the September box. It does ship towards the end of the month. I did get it on the very last day of the month, even though I'm showing it to you in October. It's the perfect spooky season box, in all honesty. There's all kinds of poetry and sort of mystery and whimsical elements as well. There's some useful items and there are some items that might just be trinkets, might just be part of the curation and the sense of cohesion, but we always have to see. If you're ever considering, if you're intrigued by this box, I highly suggest that you go ahead and watch a couple of unboxings of it to get a better sense of it and to know if it's the right box for you. But let's go ahead and get into this one. Like I said, September box. Now I am a little bit worried because I did have to open it up and double check because there has been a lot of sort of dust coming out of the box, like a significant amount. And I do think that it's cocoa powder, so there's a mix in there of some sort that unfortunately has spilled everywhere, so I don't even know if I'll be able to use it. But let's go ahead and take a look at our card that tells us the theme. The theme is nourished, and it's the sacred oak. Each of these is almost like a tarot card in a way. I love this owl that's hiding up here. Let me just read the intro to the box for you. The very heart of the forest is ruled by the sacred oak. The stories say that she was not planted, but instead she sprouted by chance and fate from the acorn of an even older ancestral tree. She is so ancient and has grown so large that it is impossible to see her all at once. Visitors see her in glimpses, their vantage points crowded by her many children and the other trees which encircle her. She subsists on fallen leaves and creatures that rot into soil. Many in turn are nourished by her acorns or are sustained by her breath. That is how we all gain life from the dead. Her health is the health of Birdmoss. The sacred oak relays the energies and messages which pass from grove to grove. All petitions pass through her, all root systems lead to her, and the most sublime rituals are performed at her foot. I just love that sort of reverence that we do tend to have as humans for ancient trees, because they have seen so much, they are so connected to the earth, and I think that no matter what your beliefs are, you can have that sort of awe and appreciation for those ancient trees. So I kind of love the theme already. Don't mind me, I might get a little bit choked up just because of all that cocoa powder, but we always get a nice parchment paper, and you can see it's got drawings and annotations that look handwritten, and tells us about the items and what they're sort of supposed to represent. Sometimes it's very literal, and sometimes you have to kind of get into that world of Birdmoss and that kind of thinking. And then on the back, this time around, there's actually quite a bit of text, so if we have time, I will go ahead and read that to you. But in this little section here, it says, "In our world, trees are mortal because of environmental changes and human threats. In Birdmoss, these same threats do not exist." So it looks like we've got quite a few items. It says you are nourished, and we have 6 items, and again, all of them have their little annotations and extras. So it says you dream deeply, a dream within a dream, to the heart of the forest. So we're in the heart of the forest. I'm going to pull out the items just so that I have them and I can kind of dust off. Yes, we definitely had like a mix of stuff, and I can see it's not that the seal of it was cracked, but actually the lid was cracked, and then along the side of it there is a crack in this actual box. So I have a feeling that no matter what it is, there's probably not enough to make the recipe that will be included, but hopefully everything else inside is in good condition. I'm gonna just kind of dust things off as we go as much as possible to keep that from spreading. But okay, I'm just gonna move the tissue paper even because it's filled with dust, but you can kind of see there's all that dusty stuff in there. It was actually coming through the cracks of the box, and at first I didn't know what it was, but this is again our beautifully printed Birdmoss box that we get every month. So it says, you arrive at the foot of the sacred oak. The earth stops at her canopy. All above is but ether. So first we have a skeleton leaf, which is cool. So it's a jewelry piece. We do get lovely jewelry pieces. Sometimes it's a little bit more hippie-ish than what I usually wear, but I actually love these kinds of necklaces. This one's kind of in a rose gold, and I love that it did come with a chain. This is an interesting clasp. So it has like a regular lobster clasp situation. It looks like, yeah, it has a regular lobster clasp, but then it has this ball and this like extender, which I'm not really sure how that works. I guess it just slides along. That's kind of cool. So you can actually just slide the chain to change the length of it, like a bracelet or something. That's actually really neat. I've never actually seen that. So let me just hold it up for you. So you can see this beautiful pendant, which is almost the same color as my skin, so it might be hard to see. Let me see if I can maybe pull the sacred oak up so you can see it a little bit better. It says, here in the heart of the forest, the ground is layered with old fallen logs, leaves, and bits of bark. You marvel at the wispy skeletons of last year's leaves. This necklace features a delicate, real skeleton leaf, electroformed to preserve its lacy beauty. I think they're so gorgeous. Such a perfect fall piece as well. Okay, so, and it says, the health of the sacred oak is the health of Birdmoss. So next we have a precious acorn. And this is a really cool, it's also got like a lobster clasp on it, but it's a little bit bigger so that you could put it on a bag or you could put it on your keychain. And we just have this lovely little wooden acorn. The wood of an oak tree has many uses: building shelters, starting cooking fires, whittling dip pens, making barrels for wine. The creatures of the forest have similarly varied uses for the acorns. They eat the full nut raw, but also press it for oil, roast it, and carve it into slices, and sometimes grind it into a polenta-like porridge. The shell can even be carved into a tiny teapot, accompanied by acorn cap cups, or made into a diminutive hiding place. Your acorn locket contains small keepsakes from across Birdmoss. Quicken it by adding a charm of your own. So it is a locket, my friends, not just a charm, which I think is really cool. So it says, her branches are corridors like underground warrens, but these ancient pathways worm through the sky. So you can actually unscrew the top little cap, and I'm reminded of, she once gave us little acorn cap candles that you could float. And then inside, my friends, there are treasures as promised. That is so cool. Let me just pour them out in my hand. Oh my gosh, there's actually a lot. So the couple of them are, well, one of them is actually drawn on the paper. Oh, this is interesting. I'm going to try to hold them up so you can see in my hand, because I don't think that I can hold them individually. So we've got quite a few items. We've got this little, almost looks like a shell, but it also looks like a mushroom. This is a little amethyst stone right here. We have this little swallow charm. It does have a hole through it. A little acorn charm, and this is like the one that we actually got once as sort of a sneak peek piece. And then we have this little bit of tile. And they actually, that was one of the items that was sort of drawn on the annotated part there, that little tile, that little square. So let me see if I can get those to hold up for you guys. But I can't believe all of those fit in there. I just love the idea of having your little secrets and treasures in there. You could roll up a scroll. I used to have a bunch of little metal like pills almost that I would write people notes in, and I just thought it was kind of a cool thing that you could keep in your pocket. Little like power quotes and things, but they all fit into there. 5 little trinkets fit into that acorn locket. I just think that is really neat. It seems so like almost like a spy tool. Very, very cool though, right? Okay, so like the little items in there, not necessarily functional. We did have 2 charms and a stone, but just this item I think is so, so cool. All right, an acorn baby. All right, so an old story tells of a lonely goblin woman who asks the sacred oak for comfort and receives a little acorn baby to care for. Look among the oak's roots to find the supplies to create your own winsome infant with an acorn cap. So this is an example of one of the sort of DIY projects that often, I would say 90% of the time, there's something like this in a Birdmoss box in terms of something that you can do, something you can create. And she provides these little kits for us. So let me just pull all of the things out. It says, "Oh, beloved tree, your name is Dair. Dare? I think Dair. Your name is Velidab. Velidab? All right, so this is definitely a little craft. I think we've had something kind of similar. I mean, I have been receiving this box for quite some time, but it's cute that it comes like this. So here's all the little bits and pieces. This is the little acorn baby. And then he has instructions. You'll need an adhesive craft glue or a bit of melted wax, optional strong tea or coffee or paint, a ballpoint pen, and bits of ribbon or other ornaments. So it tells you how to make this little acorn baby. So it included a very, very cute acorn cap. So you can do this little acorn cap on top. I don't know if I can get it to balance. Yes, we would glue that on. And then it also included, let's see, I think there was a safety pin. Did I drop it? I think it might still be in the bag. There's a safety pin that was included. Where did that go? I had a safety pin. Now I don't see it. Oh yes, it's still in the bag. I saw it glistening in there before. And then you can use this safety pin on these bits of fabric that were included in very nice fall colors. So a little clothing for your baby to swaddle it in however you would like. So you get to swaddle it, put the acorn cap on it, maybe draw a face. She was suggesting using tea or coffee to darken the baby to skin tone. There's a couple other bits and bobs in there. So there's also within that bag, there was this really cool stone. I think that's really neat. And this bit of paper. So it is listed on the paper as pebble and slip of paper. Birdmoss folktales include many other stories of petitions to the sacred oak. You receive a scrap of velvety locta paper and a pebble. Make your own appeal to a beloved tree. I love that idea. It's like writing a wish, something that you need, and leaving it for a tree. Let's see. It says, read her bark for messages. The sigils slowly change over time. Time moves differently for the trees. All right, so now we have this little like leaf here. There's a pumpkin. There's the tree. It says acorn cakes. So indeed, this is the culprit. I showed you briefly. Acorn brownie mix. It says that it is a mug cake mix with red acorn or real acorn flour. It says in a microwave safe mug or ramekin, stir 1/4 cup of mix with 1 tablespoon each of water and neutral oil. Oh, I might actually have 1/4 of a cup in there. I wonder how many servings it was supposed to make in here. It will continue to cook while resting. Cook less for fudgier texture and longer for a firmer texture. So I do love a mug cake. I'm just so bummed that this got broken. So I'm not sure how entirely safe it is, but you know, still pretty cool, right? So it says new acorns are only now beginning to collect at the foot of the sacred oak. The chipmunks, squirrels, and other small creatures will soon begin collecting their winter stockpiles. Many acorns will be stored whole. Some will be gathered, dried, cracked, peeled, ground, soaked, rinsed, dried, and ground again, all in the interest of creating a versatile flour. Warm, nourishing brownies will be such a treat as the evenings grow shorter and cooler. I mean, the brownie sounds so good. I'm like, I hope there's enough in there. I'm not sure if there's a full 1/4 cup. It was probably, I'm guessing it was probably for 2 servings, a full 1/2 cup, but I have easily lost a 1/4 cup just in the box and on my desk and in the house and even in transit. Like, it's definitely just covered in that mix. It says the animals are unbothered by the tannins in the husk. And we have one final item. So like I said, we had our skeleton leaf necklace, beautiful piece. Honestly, I feel like that like covers the value of the box right there. Our precious acorn with our little bits and bobs inside of it, the locket, the acorn baby craft, the pebble and slip of paper. Yes, not high value there, but like I said, kind of adds to the ritual element of the box. The acorn cakes, a little brownie mix. And then finally, we have this autumnal dish. It says the mice bake their cakes in nutshells. Larger animals use, oh, this is so cute, hollow gourds or even pumpkin shells. Your pumpkin-shaped dish is the perfect size to make a portion of cake. It's safe to use in the microwave oven and dishwasher. Love all of that. What a cute little pumpkin dish. Great little fall item and perfect for that mug cake or any other mug cake that you might have. The sacred oak reaches up to the heavens. Is there a tree who reaches down to the bird moss below? So I just think that's such a sweet little item, right? And you know, yes, it's within the world of bird moss, but it's also just something I think that a lot of people could appreciate at this time of year. So that's great. You guys, let's have a secret password. There's often a secret password in these videos. So let's make it acorn, of course, for our acorn brownie mix, which is now everywhere in my house, all over my hands and all over all these items, which I'm sure that I can clear off eventually. When you come across a secret password in one of my videos, you want to enter it along with your contact information in the Google form that's linked for you in the description box below. You have to be 18 years or older. You have to have a US mailing address. Canadians, you can definitely participate, but right now I'm not sending mystery boxes to Canada, and you do have to be subscribed to my channel. It is in no way affiliated with YouTube or any of the boxes that I'm opening here on the channel. Today's secret password is acorn. So let's see. Basically what happens is 5 days into the following month, so around the first week of November, I will use a random number picker to select a few winners to receive mystery boxes as my way of saying thank you for watching my videos in their entirety, keeping your ears and eyes open. There's not a secret password in every single video, but there's anywhere from 8 to 12. And when I'm only posting every other day, that means there's pretty darn close secret password in almost all of the videos. But let's go ahead and read this story that's along the back that tells us a little bit more, I think, about the history of that lonely goblin woman who asked the sacred oak for an acorn baby. Once upon a time, a woman lived alone near the heart of the forest. She spent her days painting and writing. She befriended the birds and the beasts of the forest and found joy in their company, even when the squirrels squabbled and the jays warned her away from their nests. As the years passed, she grew in wisdom, and her painting grew more and more adept. Despite her occupations and her animal friends, she was sometimes deeply lonely. She yearned for a little thing to love and raise, just as the squirrels taught their babies the ways of gathering and survival. One night, her yearning grew sharp. She ventured away from her cottage to the very center of the forest where the sacred oak grew tall and wide. She wrote her petition on a slip of paper and lodged it beneath a pebble at the sacred oak's roots. Please carry my petition to the moon, to the canopy, to all the trees in the forest, and even to the strange ones. Perhaps one of them will know how to comfort me. She waited and waited for a response and finally fell into a restless sleep. She awoke as the rose-tipped dawn reached her spot in the forest. Stretching and yawning, she noticed a movement amongst the sacred oak's roots. Pushing aside the fallen leaves, she discovered a tiny creature, an acorn baby, also stirring, yawning, and stretching. With tears in her eyes, the woman scooped the baby up, grateful for the oak for this gift. So you can make your own little acorn baby and be like the no longer lonely goblin woman. See, you have to kind of get into the mind and the world of Birdmoss to truly appreciate this box, but I thought this was a really good one. I'm really bummed about my mix kind of spilling everywhere, but I love the necklace. I think it's gorgeous. I think the acorn locket is lovely. The brownie mix, fun. The acorn baby, fun if you have time for it. And this is just a fun little like fall dish to have out and make it feel like you've decorated all in one fell swoop, right? I have to get my pumpkins out, you guys. I haven't gotten my pumpkin smorgasbord out yet. And then another fun feature of Birdmoss boxes is there's often this little matchbox that will give us a little sneak peek of things to come. So probably the theme for next month. And we usually have a charm. And this time I'm not sure what this is. Is it a poppy? What is this? Is it a pomegranate? It's a little red enamel charm. You could definitely make a really cool charm bracelet out of all of the items, all of the sneak peeks that you get from Birdmoss throughout a year. I'm not really sure what that is. but because the little loop on the top is definitely on the top of this. Is it a tomato? You all tell me what that is. I'm not sure. All right, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this unboxing. I always enjoy unboxing this box for you. Just don't forget there was a secret password. If you missed it, go back and find it. I think we are on already probably like the 4th secret password of the month, which is saying a lot, and we're almost a third through the month. You guys, I have lots of really cool unboxings coming up, and hopefully you will join me for them. Have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you soon in my next unboxing.